explain all the details again?
Yeah, sure. So I'm recording, of course, because my team wants to dox everybody. The last dev was a little shady, which I should have trusted my intuition. He built a back door and he let us get us up. We were at 70,000 market cap, and then he just pulled the rug. And I'm just
Oh,
an
really?
optimist. Yeah, just I believe I'm truly blessed, and this is just a challenge. They say no great uh, heights are reached without adversity and challenges. So for me, what it's doing is getting me focused on doubling down on my other side career path, which I'm doing for life insurance, because I need that due to the fact that the nature of this project is going to challenge the most corrupt government leaders in the world. And I'll need my life insurance policy so that if my life ends, my son gets to take over my legacy. And that it's a real thing. Like, I see the reason that people would be concerned because what I'm talking about is an evolution of government to have decentralized governance through direct democracy means that are already established in the constitutions, but the majority of the public is completely unaware. And I have reports on this. My whole team helped. We have a lot of research. There have been referendum all over the world for hundreds of years, starting in Switzerland, and like a big one in the UK happened where they had Brexit. The United States had the very first referendum to say no and limit the Federal Reserve to say no at the ballot to say they don't want to take any more debt. So when it comes to cryptocurrency and learning about blockchain and how Bitcoin was born and the very premise of it to give people financial freedom, I realized as a political activist, who spent 20 years in this industry, that the time for that idea of decentralized technology and decentralized programmable currency would make the most sense to have a structure, an online quorum where people can debate about what policies we want and ultimately launch our own ballot initiatives. Now, in my industry, I have also been scammed, like tragically, tens of thousands of dollars multiple times, where the contractor would just take my last paycheck and disappear. And everybody in the industry realizes that there's a lack of transparency. Blockchain can create that transparency and create a system to end all fraud, which also makes a lot of the big people in my industry that make millions of dollars. And I have the report in the white paper. There's like 20 plus companies, they all make many millions of dollars. They also would be very challenged by this. I'm not like saying like someone's going to come and murder me because I'm doing something big to take away their $1 million business, but hey, you never know. I'm focusing on life insurance. I'm also more doubling down on code development myself and research. Like I'm learning how to build on Figma, and then I'm learning this program called Flutterflow to build apps. And I'm also studying AI. And my next step is I want to learn code as well. I want to learn what you're doing so I can eventually tinker around because I'm a creative individual. One of the most powerful tools for people that make billions and millions in their lifetime is creativity. And I've always had that. So it's time for me. I'm transitioning out of my industry for 20 years. I'm going into life insurance and I'm doubling down on this project because just because a scammer got me this one time does not mean that I'm just to throw out the idea and throw away this beautiful
Yeah, that's
idea
right.
that not only could help us all financially, yourself included, to potentially step away from developing and live the life of your dreams just as being an equity shareholder of this. If you look at the white paper, you'll see, and I'm going to make some reports with AI. Okay. The industry is about $2 billion per year in the US. With the presidential election, this last one with Trump running and all the money that was spent, it was like there's many, many billions of dollars spent in this industry. And we are at a point where when we connect the blockchain with the utility that I'm also having an AI developer build on the side essentially streamline the entire petition process with AI, then we will challenge this billion-dollar industry, and none of the companies in this white paper will have a chance. I had a guy actually, no way that can compete. He was building the back end of the software that we're building with AI that we want to connect with the final stage of the USDC smart contract. And he's got it down so that the AI reading people's handwriting on paper can quickly match that up with a database. He says it could even scale to thousands of signatures per second, but right now at our very premise level, he was testing and adopting one that was about one signature per second. Today in the industry, the way it's run in this billion-dollar industry is they're hiring manual laborers and the state departments, the governments themselves. spend money on having people type on a keyboard, looking and squinting at the handwriting to match to see if the person's in the database. It takes about an hour to do 100 signatures. So can you see the huge potential when we have AI that can do 100 signatures in just less than a couple minutes versus a whole hour? You see
Yeah,
what
well, I
I'm
think
saying?
so. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, but I got it.
it's
So
it's
AI
huge.
processes all the signatures more fastly than the original way.
Exactly.
So
Very simple
maybe 100
concept.
times faster.
Yeah. No one's doing it,
Okay.
and we want to be the first because I'm the only person in this industry with this idea that we can change it. I've already created an idea based on a decentralized ledger. I applied last year in business, and I was the first to have a Facebook page that had 5-star reviews because everybody in this industry knows how shady it is. There's no transparency, and a company just says, "Oh, you turned in 1,000 signatures, but only 600 of them are good, so here's your paycheck." We're going to change all of that. I already built a system to do that without blockchain. So, of course, when it is built on blockchain, it's going to be just game changing. And we want to give equity to every person with these tokens. That's the idea. So that when we take millions of dollars of contracts, then the proponents who put these monies down will have to buy up a certain amount of these tokens and lock them in a smart contract to have access to this USD smart contract where the money they put in and it gets paid out to the workers directly, and they're only paying for valid work, and they themselves are also protected from fraud from the companies in between that have no transparency. That's why the final stage of the USD smart contract, when it connects with the AI, is going to be the game changer. But in order to get there, we want to start with this fundraiser program that is networking. We're talking about direct democracy. And when it comes to government and changing laws, when the people need to speak up about any kind of problems with taxation or any kind of injustices that occur, it requires strength in numbers. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, it takes a lot
Oh,
of people. So when you research how to reach out to a lot of people, there's two main methods that come to mind. Direct marketing, where you're paying for ads and I'm paying marketing companies and paying for software to market and promote, and just we get all the emails to one central website. And then there's a decentralized way where it's called network marketing. And the industry of network marketing has blown up. Do you know about like that Robert Kiyosaki? Or oh, you remember the Forsage smart contract? Were you around when that was a big thing? Oh,
no,
okay.
I don't know that.
Okay. Well, it's this idea of the smart contract is based off of them. They have a history, but they're very controversial because network marketing without a purpose is just a Ponzi scheme. It's the people at the top telling others to join, who tell others to join, and money's flowing upwards. It makes a lot of money. But if there's
Right.
no purpose, what's the point? It's just a greedy thing of marketing promotion, people making false promises, and a few people at the top that manage all the marketing to get all the wealth. And a lot of people join and then they have no help and support. We're going to do things different. The reason why network marketing works is because it's person to person networking. And now, instead of a company getting all the commissions from any kind of sale, each individual has a stake. And if you were part of a company selling anything, wouldn't it make more sense that you would feel valued as a person if you got a commission from the referral rather than telling someone how great the company is and send them to the company that doesn't give you anything? It would feel nice to get a referral bonus. If have you ever done any programs like that where you refer people to a company and they
Yes,
give
so when I that's right. So when I build the pre-sale page, I just add the referral link so it can get so the users can get rewards from the referral links, something like that, like percentage of the purchase amount, deposit amount, something like that. And in staking, it works as well. And in
yeah.
P2E games,
Yeah.
it works as well.
So there's
So
games
there are
that are
so
like that.
many
Interesting.
differences. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
can add some referral links to invite more users,
Yeah.
like tap to earn and
Yeah, exactly.
click to earn something like that.
That's
So
right.
it generates many the community
Exactly.
members
So
in a short
since
time.
that's the premise of the international direct democracy concept, we need strength in numbers. Every country is independent. Every country is sovereign. Every country and community also needs a critical mass of people in order to have any leverage to tell the government how they would rather be representative for them to even listen. So it makes the most sense that we integrate this idea of network marketing to organize people because it is the fastest way. And I have a background, 20 years of fundraising. Oh, well, no, 20 years was petitioning. Excuse me, I slipped. 3 years
Mhm.
prior to that, I was doing door-to-door fundraising, and I trained people and I set up whole offices. I helped them set up huge offices. I was great at it. I would knock on doors with strangers. At first, I didn't do well. The first couple weeks, I was struggling. I didn't make quota, and they said they were going to let me go. But that lit the fire under me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I got to pull this together." And I just started thinking and contemplating every action, every word. And I eventually made it. And then I was one of the best fundraisers. So I have confidence that I can teach those same methods I did for door-to-door fundraising, for fundraising online, which is why the smart contract diagram of how it would be built has an open-ended initial contribution. It's not just zero point zero zero 0.005, it's zero point zero zero 0.005 or Solana or more. And it could be Hedera, it could be an EVM, and we can talk about that, what would work. But the ambition is I'll teach people how to actively fundraising using Facebook and user groups and other methods. I have a guy who's a multi-millionaire network marketer who uses Facebook, and he doesn't do any ads, and he does amazing, bringing people into Zoom meetings where they talk about the opportunity, and then he sells right on the Zoom meeting. So the idea is to have this fundraiser, and the goal is in part to organize and to raise money so each individual has a way to capitalize right now before this bull market starts to blow off, to make some real commissions we want to keep in our wallets, getting those commissions directly so that we have a larger nest egg by being part of this marketing program. And then a portion, 20%, will go to our DEX and our DAO fundraisers. We need to start from scratch, so we need to build up those amounts. We're giving the majority to the community because that gives them the incentive to promote in the first place. But at least this is a real way. And the first of all of these kind of network marketing programs on smart contracts that will have a purpose with a coin or a token that is designed to be this utility token, and of course an ecosystem that I laid out there. And the ecosystem is dynamic because dropped my attention when pump fund and these programs are so big and everyone's launching new coins. And sometimes people launch a coin for cat charity to save cats, or dog charity, or save the
That's
whales.
right.
There's cool ideas. And I said, why not every single policy that exists, like the biggest one in Bitcoin world, which is to have Bitcoin reserves? Why not have its own policy token that we launch along with I have like five other blockchain related pro crypto ecosystem policies that people can get behind as a token, and that way we can generate interest behind those tokens, and that feeds into our greater ecosystem with launching ballot initiatives. Uh, I wrote my own laws as someone that worked in this space for years. I'm not a politician, but I wrote policies and I was successful, and I filed them at the legislative review board in Arizona, and they said these are acceptable. I wrote them completely the way the Constitution is required so that the people could vote on them as laws. And I'm in Ballotpedia for that, so I have a little notoriety online if people search for me. I've done a few other things in my activism career that has put me in the paper, so I have a little bit of background that people would recognize. Say, "Wow, this is that activist who could do this." No one from the VC world could promote this, or some other startup that has no experience in door-to-door fundraising or grassroots organizing, but someone who's in the industry, myself. And people in my industry know me. I'm quite notoriable in the petition world as well. People know me. Um, I was one of the people that called out a giant fraud company for scamming me, and I hated him because he ripped me off, and I would post about him constantly. But he had a lot of minions that really loved him because he'd pay them well, like until they got ripped off themselves. Just like, they were always their friend until the last paycheck, and then they just get ripped off. Then they join me. Later, he actually ended up apologizing and giving me my money back because I pleaded with him. I saw him going on vacation with all his people, multimillionaire. I was like, dude, I'm just like an average guy, a laborer working in the sun. Like, can't you help out? I mean, I've made better money than a lot of people. I'm better off than some good people, but I'm not like in the scale of these companies with millions. So anyway, the industry, the people know me, and they would love to jump on board having ownership of the takeover of this industry that can end all fraud. We know that. The state departments, California spent 30 million on doing signature verification. So when we get the AI to the advanced scale where it's actually reading the signatures for fraud detection as well as the handwriting, we could get contracts with every state government. And then the policies that I was going back to, the policies like blockchain voting, huge, just to vote with a blockchain ledger, maybe from your cell phone or a paper ballot that has a blockchain ledger. That's something that the world needs when all this controversy about voting and rigged elections is an issue, don't you think? Like blockchain voting would be the future, right? So we have a narrative that the crypto world can get behind. And I really believe that with the right startup, starting from this fundraiser again, we can push this. I just found some cool AI tools. I could do automated marketing. I started playing with them. They're great. And this fundraiser is the most critical, crucial initial startup process because we get our community going, we get our funding started, and most importantly, we can raise the capital to launch all of the other elements again. I lost the majority of my life savings. I put it in for this guy to build this program. He had a beautiful program working. Everything happened. The staking was working, the launch pad, and the DAO and the DEX, and we had this all set up. We were going to keep going. But the moment I said I don't have money to keep to do more because like I wanted to, but I said we have to wait and like get some feedback, get some community going, like get some commissions from the 1% sales tax or something to fund it because I ran out of funds. Get a VC or get some other group with funding that wants to start up getting a big blockchain project on their blockchain. He said, okay, man. And then it was like a day later, he just stole all the money. So bad, man. Um, but this guy's an idiot because I hired him on Fiverr. He also made a PayPal transaction, and as soon as I get the 10,000 or 6,000 bucks, I'm checking out some legal firms. They can subpoena them. They can subpoena MEXC exchange, get all of his information, deliver a subpoena, and then he's going to be shitting bricks. When he gets a subpoena at the door saying, "Hey, you're involved in a cyber crime. You need to go to court." I told him, like, you should be worried. You should give us all the money back. And he just cut me off. He shut down the Telegram. All the communications were erased that we had, which is the risk of Telegram, I guess. But I mean, the core stuff that happened is on Fiverr, and it's pretty evident. We have evidence from his wallet that he went to MEXC, and I need to deal with that. I also need to deal with potentially filing bankruptcy. It's a big problem. But I wanted to tell you this because I plead with you to be that dev that has a heart, that can see that we have a real plan that could be worth billions, that would want to have equity, so that you would do this to the best of your ability and really feel like you could have a stake in this as a community member. Because I don't want a dev that's just on the side that builds, that says, okay, we built that and goodbye, I'm going on the next thing. When we do this right, this could be the last work that you would need to do potentially. Maybe a few jobs in between when seriously, when we get to as we get that USD smart contract, when we get there, there's no way that we would be stopped in the US and then other countries worldwide that have ballot measures. What country are you from?
I mean, Serbia.
Serbia. So is our scammer. And there's a lot of Serbian people out there. I didn't really check if Serbia had ballot initiatives or referendum, but it's a thing it's relevant in many Western European countries. Japan has referendum. Central America, South America has referendum. The whole United States, Canada, Mexico, Switzerland, is the core. But you've heard of these ideas where people vote on ballot initiatives? Are you familiar with that in the political sciences?
Not so familiar with that. So I just know the development stuff and
Yeah.
nothing at all.
That's cool.
So
Well, development is similar in the sense that you're building code that is supposed to be immutable, like that will never change. Same with the ideas of a constitution that protects our individual freedom, our liberty, and to have justice in our world. And they're not perfect. The governments aren't clearly not perfect, but there's ambition of people that vote to get them to be better. And that's the thing is this is also a bridge to get the average concerned citizen to want to get involved in voting if they're not already, because they would see the potential of voting on the actual laws they're concerned about. And that way even segue them into this blockchain project to get into crypto if they've never been here before. And so there's huge potential for mainstream adoption because we're dealing with voting in the elections that, everybody at every election time is hyped up to get involved with. I've even had debates with the anarchists and the anarchist philosophy, which is really prevalent in the blockchain community, of course. And not to pat myself on the back, but I often win the debates and get even the anarchists that write whole books on how voting is violence and we should never participate in voting because politicians are corrupt, to agree that the ballot initiative process is not the same as putting a politician in charge of us. It's more like jury nullification we have here when some innocent person's on the trial and the one person out of the 13 people says, that person's not innocent. I'm not going to agree. And they stall the whole trial and they let that person go. It's a similar issue. So we can vote when a really bad law comes up, you could vote no and say, "Hey, I don't want that law." Or we see a huge injustice going on. I'm not sure what's going on in Serbia. I should research it, but I would want you to feel some interest in where this could go even in your own nation. So if there's some issues, whether it's taxation or maybe there's a big toxic dump close by a waterway you want to deal with, there's areas that we can, get the people involved and ultimately put the pressure on politicians to do the right thing. So often they're corrupted. And I've just been distraught that I wanted to interview and get let you speak now after I've given you my spiel because people that code are obviously very intelligent and it's an in-demand work. And now this is like the fifth time, but it's the largest loss where a developer has not delivered and they have ripped me off. And I just don't understand how someone who can do so well and even be in a business where they can make so much money has the audacity to scam me. This guy, Pitar is his name, Stenovic. I don't know if you ever heard him. He's a Serbian developer.
No,
He
there are
he
so many
has
Serbians in Fiverr, so I don't
yeah,
know
but he
all of
has
them.
himself like $300,000 or more of money, and he's also involved in other scams because we know from a woman on LinkedIn that connected with me that I found out when I started putting the word out there, and she said, "Yeah, he sent me an email wanted me to be hired under his company." And he was using a fake name under that, but it was from his profile. So it was, yeah, we I just don't get it. But tell me about yourself, because the community's going to review you. You look like an honest guy. Tell me about yourself, a little bit about your background, any certifications, graduation, how you got into coding, some projects you worked on, any notariable projects that we can look up, and how you could better dox
So,
yourself, because that will be one of the things that really helps people choose who to work with.
mm, yep. So I've been working on the blockchain industry for over 6 years so far. So I have worked on the Ethereum and Solana and Hedera XRPL and some other different chains and different protocols. So I have worked on the staking, pre-sale, and the other DX platforms like decentralized exchanges and trading bots and some other specific the wallet development and other the website development, stuff like that. So as for me, I have expertise in writing the smart contract using Solidity and the Rust for Solana and the Sui, Aptos, something like that. I also have very basic knowledge and deep knowledge about the XRPL and Hedera because I have built so much games and the centralized applications on XRPL and Hedera. For example, coin flip and blackjack games and like that. So it's more like the P2E and play to earn games so far. Yep. So since last year, I have been working on the Kujira network with Fusion team as a core developer. But at the time they closed the idea because the last year there was a very trendy like the meme coin on Ethereum and the Solana. So that's why all the investors migrated their funds from the other chains to the Ethereum and Solana. That's why they couldn't push forward the project anymore. So that's why I should dive into the Ethereum and meme coin trend at the time. Um, it was really interesting. So at the first time, I couldn't understand because the many people buy meme coin if I launch the coin without any marketing and without any specifications, just launch and they buy it. So it was uh yeah, quite interesting industry that I can work on. So I met so many clients in Fiverr and I have worked on different projects like the Pump Fund and the Radium sniping bot,
Okay.
and the trading bot, and volume bot, and many what token tools like the Launchpad and liquidity lock and burn and kind of things. So besides that, I developed many Telegram bots and the other Dix Screener and Pump Fun like platforms. You
Hmm.
know, Photon. So I have developed such kind of the big project called GMI. So that is more like the integration of three platforms like Dix Screener and Photon and Dex tools. So GMI platform enables us to create the coin and list the liquidity to Radium or Pump Fund, and we can track all the buy and sells in real time with analytics. So at that time, they pushed forward for about 3 months, and I developed for that platform for the multi-chain, like Solana, Ethereum, XRPL, and the Sui chain. So that was pretty working good, but
Great.
eventually, mm, we were using AWS server and the subscription like Route 53 and EC2 and other PostgreSQL on AWS like RDS and DynamoDB, but it cost like more than 10K per month. So it was crazy. So that's why we're currently moving our the server from AWS to the other cheaper one like um, the Hostinger, the Bluehost and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
anyway, it was a good try, and I still have all the code and all the website and designs, stuff like that. So I can give you the yep, reference if you want. But
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
pretty much
So
about the
I'm just curious. One other thing that we're interested in is bridging because Solana is great. That's what we're starting on, but we're also very interested in potentially other blockchain networks. We're bringing one of our other partners here in the
That's right.
room.
So yeah, I ever developed this kind of multi-chain bridge from one chain to another. You know, before wormhole, there is no such kind of comprehensive multi-chain bridge protocols. So I should create the multiple the smart contracts on both chains and connecting each other with my backend. But it's not very safe and it's not the best solution for the bridging. So after that, I notified that there is a protocol for the multi-chip bridging, like layer zero protocol. So I could develop the bridging using layer zero. So I don't have to write the backend code, but I can just deploy the smart contract for both chains and connect each other using layer zero. It will be bridging all the coin from one another. And after that, recently the wormhole is kind of trendy because they are
Yeah.
just provide a UI wizard and I can just request the API call to swap one coin to another. So
Great.
it's kind of very easy, the breezing. But
Okay, great.
so that's why I do know about
So
the
you have
breezing from scratch to
Yeah, you have all of the background of building each component that we more or less need, starting with the fundraiser. You mentioned you do decks. You've done a launch pad before, like Pump Fun. Uh, so
yeah,
you
that's right.
you probably built. Have you built a DAO
I
before?
even yes, so I even you mean yeah, DAO. So I'm currently
Yeah.
working on the maritime DAO as well. So
Okay.
it's like more like the RWA marketplace with DAO mechanism.
Great.
So
So you
they are
can
selling
definitely do
ships.
everything. Oh, go ahead. So,
Yeah, actually, everything is nothing, you know.
okay.
So I am not currently saying I can do everything, but I can do
Yeah.
most of the
No, that's
things.
great. We could potentially get another developer as well. I'm going to interview a few people, but I'm very happy about your presence. I just got the notice the Zoom meeting's timing out in 9 minutes, 45 seconds. So during this time, I also want to go through like the doxing process because that's the most crucial, right? When people like this guy Pitar are kind of shady behind Fiverr, even though he's not going to get away with this, It just gives our whole community confidence when someone's more public. So, do you have aspects of your public profile that you could provide to me in a document? Like the things that stand out to me are LinkedIn. Do you have a LinkedIn profile?
Yes, I have, and
Okay,
I
great.
have X account and
X
LinkedIn
account, great.
account,
Okay.
whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. If you could
Um,
provide me a document, all that, you don't have to, you can maybe list the kind of pages, or go ahead and just like list the pages that you can be found online in general. So you have X, you have LinkedIn. What other ones do you have?
make it tough, whatever. Anyway, just give me the document link. I mean, the list of the documents you need. Then
Oh,
I
okay.
will
If you
send it
have, I
over.
mean, I was going to ask you maybe just to give me a list of all the ones you have, or if you have maybe do you have any page where it's like a central page? Do you have your own website or anything that where you have links to your social
Uh, I
medias?
u- I usually have my portfolio as a document. I mean,
Okay,
Google Doc.
that's great. That's
But
fine though.
I didn't make any website for my portfolio and kind of
That's
things.
okay. See, the thing is, you have so much skills. You do realize that if you were yourself to build a program to get the funding or to get the, even without funding, if you had a
Yep.
program with an idea
Um,
that you could, you wouldn't even have to be here offering services to other people, right? Like you have tremendous skills. If you had the right idea and the market wants it, you could take a coin from nothing to $1 billion market cap and be sitting in an island somewhere being like, oh yeah, coding was cool. I did that for years. Now I'm eating coconuts and counting the fish I get off the pier, and just having fun. Like what keeps you motivated to do this? Like, what's your
uh,
goal later in life? What would you like to be doing?
oh, yep, that's great. And I have several tracking records to hype my project to the multi-millions so far. It's several projects. So, and that's why I'm eager to invest my time as the profit share um, like, deal and kind of things. So I'm also open to it. Um, if you can provide me with the funds for my development stuff only, and then we can go forward with the profit share, it'd be appreciated as well.
Yeah,
So
and I mean,
it
I
works
want
for me as well.
collaboration. I would love to know what other projects you're getting into early, the things that you're building, because I want to build family behind this. The guy Pitar was not. The people that are core in our team, we had like 72 investors. A couple of them left. It looks like 10 people left after the scam. They didn't trust me. But everyone looked at it. They looked, okay, like the guy is very clearly just cut off all communication. Pitar was in the group. He didn't respond. He cut off communication with this guy, Emmy, who's joined us here. He moved all this money. He had hundreds of thousands of dollars. If I already had that, of course, they know it's not me because I would be why would I would have launched the end goal of this project. And my friend Josh, who knows me in the petition industry, has all the best things to say about me as one of the petitioners with the most integrity in the business. I mean, just what I did the other year of having a Facebook page. I was literally the first Facebook page for any petition company with a 5-star review rating because every 99% of all the companies can't do that because they have no transparency. And everyone that's new is going to see when they get that low paycheck because they're not as skilled, they're going to think, oh, this company's scamming me. I created the first decentralized audit for the petition signatures in the petition business where every single signature is shown on a spreadsheet, whether it was good or bad. And I was the first to pay people 100% on the spot when they arrive, turning in their papers. I flip through the deck, I count the number of pages matches what we already checked through a digital upload. Nobody else does. So I had the validity done each day, which also improved performance because people could see if they had a good day or a bad day, what stores they were working at were good or bad, what events were good or bad. So I created a system that creates better performance each day and 100% pay on the spot. And people love it. We're going to be going again in August where I'm going to be working remotely, putting other people in charge of doing what I was doing, handling the paperwork, so that I can focus at home, promote this project, and keep growing it, all the social media, and also getting into insurance. So, just this first fundraiser, if you read the document, it has a portion where it talks about an auto rotating feature of the Telegram names. Because this way, if someone joins with their little minimum investment, even if they never invite someone, the cool idea is to have that rotator going through the top page so that every person gets a chance to be the next, a new person who finds the platform sees that has to join under. Well, like if they find, unless it was a direct referral. So if someone's a direct referral, that's one thing. But if they hear about the marketing hype when I'm promoting it from my account with all the AI tools, then every single person's going to have a chance that their wallet, their Telegram name that's linked to their wallet stays at the top of the page until someone joins under them, and then it moves to the next person in sequential order. So it's a pretty cool viral idea if you think about it. Like, you get your
Right.
own account in there, and then this thing can take off. Forsage made billions of dollars in like a month. I don't know if I might exaggerate a little bit, but they made billions of dollars super quick. You should check it out. It was an old program back when DeFi was just starting. It was almost identical to what we're doing here with like 9 levels of referral. But unlike them, they had no purpose other than referring people. We have a DEX and a DAO and a utility project that we're fundraising for that can change the whole world. So we really believe we can inspire people, and I will be up at conferences, and I could fly you out to conferences, and we'd be there talking to people about this project. So people recognize that, hey, you have a corrupt government? No problem. We can put initiatives on the ballot. We can write them with AI now, which is never possible. I can write a ballot initiative for any law in a few minutes. Before it would take like a month straining my brain. Very similar to a coder. I'd have to look at the law and write the law in a very articulate way to make sure that it is right so the courts could approve it. Okay. So we have some things in common. I'm from the law world, you're from the coding world, but we need to get together and make this happen because we are at the age where the future is being born. And I want to leave a legacy for this planet that people realize that the old hierarchical governments where people just vote every 2 or 4 years or however many years in their country and they they're hoping something changes are a thing of the past where we can actually directly address the problems by having people in the community go out and collect signatures. By first learning about the process, because again, 99% of the world is asleep because the system was designed to keep them asleep. Okay. They don't want people knowing about this because as soon as the government realizes that people know how they can take their power back, the game's over. Of all the corruption, it can be done. They're never going to vote for someone that's not transparent. So there's so much synergy between the ideas of direct democracy and what blockchain represents, like Bitcoin, that it's time to merge those ideas. And I really, really, this is why I'm not giving up. Like most people would go cry, they might jump off a bridge if, they lost $90,000. I did cry for like 2 seconds in the shower. I like bent down and I cried for a couple seconds. It hurt, man. It hurts my heart, man. I feel so much pain from this. But you helping us make this happen, we can come back roaring like a phoenix rising from the ashes with a huge community dedicated. We can all make a lot of money before this bull market takes off with this program. And then we'll have a lot of development to go for, like more projects for you and, a beautiful ecosystem that could be worldwide and billions of dollars in market cap before we know it. That's what I see.
Yep. Uh, okay, I understand all the things. Then you can collaborate each other to develop the huge and awesome projects, of course. I
Thanks.
really like your idea. Um, yeah,
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So I guess the next part is do understand there's a little competition. I don't want that. I really just want to like find someone like you're the first person I've met. I have another guy that wants to meet me at 1:30, but I really just want to find a person. And if I have more than one people, I don't want to let you go if you already like the program and know how to build. So at some point, I might just have other people work on other pro aspects of the project or having you collaborate with other devs that I build so we can get the thing done quickly, which I think would be very much more amazing where like you could help just review other people's code as part of your job. They could review yours, and we all work together as a real team to see that this thing happens.
Yep, actually, yeah, I have the developers on my end because, you know, I'm contacting many clients on my account. They require many jobs, so that's why I have my members here. So I just collaborating with my members for a bigger project. So
The program,
they're
it's about to
working
shut
remotely.
down. The whole Zoom's about to shut down. So I really appreciate you. Follow up with me. Send me a page on Fiverr with your